New tonight, Austin Police and Governor Greg Abbott putting together a $65,000 reward to find whoever is responsible for bombings at 3 homes.
KVU's Aaron Jones live this evening at APD headquarters with updates from police about those cases. Aaron?
Brian and Quita, investigators say they're still working to find a suspect, cause, and a link between the victims in this crime. Tonight, Interim Police Chief Brian Manley says since yesterday, the police department has received 265 calls of a suspicious package, but so far, all of those have been false alarms. Tonight, he's stressing if you see anything suspicious, if you see a suspicious package, call authorities immediately. Do not pick it up. He also touched on the March 2nd incident, the first package explosion that we saw here in Austin. He said the reason why investigators deemed it an isolated incident initially is because just days before it happened, they conducted a raid, taking a significant amount of money out of a drug house. The house they raided was not the home where the explosion happened, but he said it was on the same street and it looked similar. Investigators thought the explosion was a retaliatory act and that the suspect just got the wrong house, but now, as we've seen in the last 24 hours with the second and third explosions, it's apparent that that's not the case. Investigators are continuing to look for clues, asking for the public's help.
Please partner with us on this. Be our eyes, be our ears. If you see something, say something, call us. If you know something, call the tip line. There is now a combined $65,000 reward available for information that leads to an arrest in this case. We need to put a stop to this before anybody else in our community is seriously injured or killed.
So now, as you heard, the reward is $65,000. Today, the Austin Police Department announcing that they will give $50,000 for any information leading to an arrest. This goes on top of Governor Abbott's declaration that he would give $15,000 as well. Reporting live, Aaron Jones, KVU News.
Aaron, thank you. Now, APD has been very tight-lipped about the investigation, but we are learning a bit more about their query into the first bombing victim, Anthony House. KVU's Quita Culpepper is here now with Tony Plahetsky to discuss how this investigation and the theories police have are being pursued. Quita?
That's right. Now, Tony, I know there was some interest in a drug case and a concern about mistaken identity.
So we have confirmed, Quita, in the days leading up to the blast that killed Anthony House, according to an attorney for one man here in Austin, he had a drug bust at his home. This is near where Anthony House lived. Police did seize a significant amount of drugs and money. That man's attorney told me today that he was questioned by APD, but he insisted that no one he was doing business with would have ever harmed someone this way. So, Quita, we saw that issue of mistaken identity and that theory really evaporate soon after Anthony House died.
So after that, APD actually started looking into House's personal finances.
That's right. I'm told that the investigation did turn to Anthony House's finances. Authorities won't say exactly what they have found or what they have learned about his personal finances. But one thing that we do know, Quita, is that Anthony House had filed for personal bankruptcy in 2016 and said at the time that he was up to $500,000 in debt.
Now, I know this is just so alarming to so many people. Are police any closer to finding out why House may have been a target?
No, they are pursuing a number of theories right now, but this is remaining a very perplexing case to both federal, state, and local law enforcement officials who are trying to do everything they can to turn every stone. They have met earlier today, I'm told, for several hours to make sure, Quita, that they are going down the right path going forward, that they are working together. But according to experts, this is the exact type of case that can quickly be solved, possibly if they get the right tip or the right information from the public, but it is also the kind of case that can take weeks, months, and in some cases even years to solve this kind of case.
All right, Tony, thank you very much. Brian?
Quita, thank you. Also tonight, police have identified the 17-year-old Raylan Mason as the teenager killed in the second bombing early yesterday morning. The first victim we were just talking of, 39-year-old Anthony House, died back on March the 2nd.
And tonight, we're hearing From the man who tried to save house.
That's right, tried to save house after that first explosion there. KVU's Patrick Perez is live on Haverford Drive in Northeast Austin. And Patrick, the neighbor says he just wants answers for himself and for House's family.
And Brian and Quita, you can understand why he wants those answers. Like Quita, Tony, Aaron have been saying, just last week police were calling House's death suspicious because they weren't sure whether someone left that package there that exploded or whether he himself built that package. But of course, after yesterday's explosions, they are now calling his death a homicide again. Now, his neighbor, Shawn Phillips, says what happened on the morning of March 2nd was the most traumatic thing that he has ever experienced in his life. He saw Anthony Stefan House lying on the ground after hearing a loud boom, and with the help of EMS, he tried to bring House back to life, but he would later die at the hospital. And with this new information about House's death, Phillips says he just wants some closure.
I mean, everybody's on guard. Everybody's real suspicious if there's any packages, obviously, is the big thing. But most of all, we just want answers to know what happened to our neighbor and to what's happening to the other people in Austin.
Now, we have been in contact with the family of Anthony Stefan House since last week, but they have not yet decided whether they want to go on record with us. Now, this is the first of 3 explosions in just the past 11 days here in the Austin area. KVU's Rebecca Trejo is live at the 3rd explosion that happened yesterday. And Rebecca, you have some new information about the victim in that one.
Well, Patrick, the FBI has been going door to door asking residents if they've seen anything suspicious and if they were here at the time of this 3rd package explosion. Today, we've learned that family members have identified the 3rd package explosion victim here on Galindo Street as Esperanza Hope Herrera. Family members tell me the 75-year-old is recovering from surgery this morning and she has extensive injuries. Residents of this neighborhood, which is Montopolis, are being extremely cautious. I spoke with the Montopolis HOA president who says this HOA and East Austin HOAs are going to be passing out flyers asking people to call 911 if there's a package at their home they were not expecting.
Letting them all know, look, you need to spread the word, don't open packages. If you didn't order anything and it comes, call the police, immediately.
The flyer says make sure the package has a return address. If not, don't open it. Residents are encouraged to tell family members and neighbors out here to be wary of any packages that might come to their door in the coming weeks. The victim of the 2nd package, as we've mentioned, has been identified by police. My colleague Christy Millward has the details on that.
Rebecca, today police identified 17-year-old Raylan Mason as the teen who died after opening a package Monday morning. A friend of his tells me Mason was talented, funny, and always made her smile. Raylan was a student at East Austin College Prep. He played string bass at Austin Soundwaves through the Hispanic Alliance and for the Austin Youth Orchestra. One of the conductors there tells me he played for them since he was a little kid. That's where he met Adela Owens, who says they played together for the past 4 years. She tells me she didn't believe the news when she heard what happened to Mason and said it was tough to hear.
And I was just in shock. You just don't think that something like that's going to happen to somebody who's like you, to someone who's just really sweet and doesn't deserve anything like that.
Owens says both she and Mason plan to go to UT together for the Butler School of Music. UT confirmed to us today that they did accept Mason into the school. They tell us this news is heartbreaking. Owens says they hope to plan a memorial for Mason soon. As for his family, they've asked for privacy at this time. Christy Millward, KVU News.
Heartbreaking. Christy, thank you. The investigation now has brought in dozens of federal agents from the ATF and the FBI, but Austin police are still leading the investigation. All of the agencies hope to bring down the person or people responsible. APD has revealed very little at this point about a possible suspect or any real hard leads. Interim Police Chief Brian Manley tells ABC News that whoever's responsible seems to be experienced when it comes to creating these deadly explosives.
These are, somewhat sophisticated devices, but the fact that they have been able to not only build these bombs, but then travel with them and deploy them to the target locations without them exploding either during construction or during deployment shows that they do have a certain level of sophistication and they know what they're doing.
Chief Manley says the explosive packages did not look like something you would order from Amazon or Walmart. The ATF is still processing the blast scenes, trying to learn more about the explosives. Austin police still cautioning the public, stay away from suspicious packages and call 911 if you see one. APD says they have received 265 calls dealing with suspicious packages since yesterday. None of those turned out to be credible threats.